Hey everybody, and welcome to this month's edition of the Instructor Community Call. My name, as always, is Kyle Rosenthal. You will see joining us in the window there is Sarah, and we'll bring Sarah forward shortly for a little bit more of a chat about all things MCT. All right, so what are we doing today? We have just our usual sort of welcome parts, which has some of the new courses and that sort of thing that have been released on the Microsoft side. And then we are going to talk all things MCT program with Sarah Kong, who has very kindly agreed to join us for the session. We'll probably try and get through our usual bits faster so we can get to Sarah faster. And then at the end, we have instructor recognition, which is our fun time of the call where we get to actually look at what's happened in the last month, people that have reached milestones on the Skillable platform. So today you are joined by me, Kyle, and Sarah, who I just had to steal your LinkedIn profile picture, Sarah. So that's what's sitting in there. So, so that's the two of us that you'll see today. Quick little bit of update. So this is just a reaffirming of what we've discussed in the past about the tenant provisioning and that sort of thing. So just bear in mind that there has been some changes, and I do need to do need to remove at least one of those things from there because every time we get to this slide, I go, I should remove that. There is obviously no Azure passes, so ignore that. There's no Azure passes, but that does mean that we do need to focus on this, right? The tenants. So the tenants being available for only 7 days, you do need to plan around that. There is also, as we move into the cloud slice delivery of the labs, there are differences in how the labs operate and therefore how you kind of have to plan around what your class looks like, right? So there is, I was having a chat yesterday with someone around one of the classes where there is a one lab that covers multiple modules, and kind of like that's the way that's kind of is written, because it's one of those ones you have to do from start to finish, and just kind of planning around that, right? Making sure that students don't do things like close the window, being really conscious of making sure you remind them of these things, of saying, hey, don't close your window before you start doing while you're doing a lab. It will run in the background, but if they close the window, then they're going to have to restart. So just kind of some of those things in there. Okay. All right. Armando, there is no official news on that as yet. This is on the Fabric Lab support. It is being worked on by Microsoft and Skillable to be able to create some solutions into there. Soon would be my advice. So so keep an ear out. As soon as we have an update, you can be assured that there will be much rejoicing and dancing in the streets, and everyone will be let know. So, all right. So, new published courses. So, what's been published in the last little bit? The SC 401, AI 3026, MS 4023, DP 3032, 3020, and MB 7005. And the updates that have come through. Norman, Copilot. So Copilot, there is obviously the solutions are being worked on for that as well, for all parties to make for that to come through. So so I expect there will be something, but we'll get there eventually. So Bob, you have hit the nail on the head about in general with Copilot, what the challenge is, right? And also to make sure Copilot a successful walkthrough, it has to kind of settle for a little bit as well. So therefore, that's another sort of challenge as well that I think everyone's kind of working on to try and put through. So, all right. So there will be expect, obviously, as we go through new courses, etc., that are coming out. All right. let's bring Sarah in. I promised we'd kind of get through this get through that first part as fast as we could, so that we could get to the good stuff. And so let me just turn. Let me see where my mouse has actually gone. Multiple screens, multiple things. There we go. Let's get rid of the background. Sarah, welcome.
Hello, everybody. I'm looking at the chat and I'm recognizing so many names. And I said to Kyle, well, of course, I've been doing this for 25 years, so I should know some people by now, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And then Sarah and I were discussing when we started. So he's
got me beat by 1 year.
1 year. But we also figured that in the chat we've got people who beat us. So I think Sarah's at 25. I'm at 26. And I'm assuming that Bob, you're probably further back than that. Yeah. So yes, Bob is the older gentleman. So the elderly, no, the gentleman.
The gentleman. And I think Mike Hammond would have been up there as well, but he went to the dark side, right? So and brought me there, and then I moved over to the white side. Mike and I go back from AWS years and global knowledge. So
there you go. It is quite good that there are so many people who have been part of this program for so long, and that's and to me that's one of the it's obviously the fact that it's lasted as long as it has is good from the perspective that it obviously shows that there is a career to be made out of it.
Yeah.
But as well as that, I love the community side of it. There are people who are genuinely friends that I've made over the years doing this. And I remember the first time that I met Bob, he asked me in no uncertain terms what when I said an inverted comma, I used the term inverted comma, and it was talking about I think it was a script. You had to do something that was in inverted commas. And Bob has is in the room, has put up his hand and he's gone, I think I speak for everyone in Bob's very booming, subtle voice.
His radio
What the hell is an inverted comma? and then I had to translate it. I had to translate it from English into American. and very quickly go, quotes in quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I like how you said that about community, because I went to my first MCT summit, 25 years here as an MCT, let me mind you. Yep. And I went to my first MCT summit in Manchester, UK, so the European summit in this past January. And wow. I feel like I've missed out on the last 24 years, right?
Yes.
Because you are so true. It is that whole, there was a gentleman, I'll say his name, Shintan, he got married, and there was people from the MCT community that was at his wedding. And that's how it is. Like the MCTs become family. Working with Tiago was there as well, meeting him for the first time, knowing about him. And then, Alexander, who's also on this call, Alex, I don't call him Alexander, I call him Alex. Alex is like, Sarah, don't call me that. Him and I have been trainers, and we started up in global knowledge and, as trainers. And the Toronto community has quite a few trainers, but it's not such a thriving community. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alexander. Maybe it's gotten stronger since I've been gone out of it. But here's the thing is that my passion for becoming, the new MCT program manager is to build communities, not just everywhere, right? We've got our first African MCT summit next year. I'm going. I hope you all are going. Just write it off as a work expense, right?
Yep.
So this is the thing is it's not only we're passionate people, we're energetic people. Most of us are introverts, but we get on stage, we become this huge extrovert, and we just love what we do, or else we wouldn't be doing it for 25 years. So I just get so excited, and I went to that summit, and then I was at the North American Summit, and I'm up there on stage, and the goosebumps and just meeting people. It's just amazing. Yeah.
The now I will give you just a slight correction, Sarah. The for the sake of the
Uh-oh.
folk in Ghana that organised the African summit that I went to, there
Yeah.
has been one previous, so this isn't the first one.
Well, the one in Ghana, but there's a South African one coming.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the one that should be. I think that's going to be happening in Johannesburg, if I'm wrong. I know Tiago. I think you know better than I do.
yeah.
And that one's going to be running.
I think you're right. It is in Johannesburg because most of the team that are creating are organising are all based in Joburg. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that one I'm excited for. I just got the email is for, can you sponsor us? So you want money? I'm like, of course you want money. Why not,
Yeah.
right? So yeah.
Community's important, but dollars are great as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. And for any MCTs listening to this or on this, if you are interested in doing a summit in your city, talk to a community lead, right? And there's a list of them on the MCT Lounge. Reach out to community lead and then see if they can support you, because then they can come to me to get money, right? And then if it's a big enough one, I will be there. And that's the best part, right? You want Sarah there just to be there. Oh, and I've actually got some other good news, and this is for Alex. Unless Alex, you've changed your designation, but we're looking at bringing back the Moss MCT. So that's going to be happening in FY26. So for some of you that, which, if you had your MCT previously before 2023, we carried it over and we kept renewing it for you. Make sure you go to the MCT Lounge. I just posted, I think it was yesterday or today. You need to fill out a form to continue your Moss MCT. But for new ones, that'll be coming back in FY26. Yeah.
That's huge news, because I know
gotta respect my app trainers, right?
Exactly. And it's also like the Moss trainers that I know are very passionate as well.
They are, yeah.
Very passionate. So and I would say is equally, if not more vocal than the tech trainers as well. So because
you have to look at their audience majority of the time. The majority of the time, their audience, they're dealing with non-technical people and executives. Yeah. I don't know how you do it every day, to be honest, right? Because the technical brain is like, if somebody asked me, and I remember I was teaching a SharePoint client class, and someone's like, what is a web browser? I was like, I'm out. I almost walked out the door, right? So kudos to my app trainers.
When I was the only time I've ever had a student cry in class was when I was doing apps training. And that was after 2 days, and I kind of I had this little shtick that I do, like sort of, hey, because I was teaching a particular app that we would do, and most of it was to end users in local councils, and it was a refresh of this particular app was what we're doing at the time. So it was like wasn't anything new, but these were people who knew how to come in to do their job, where they would click to do things, etc. And we just, the buttons moved. Some of them got prettied up and that sort of thing, and that was about it. So and so I would get at the end of the 2 days of this, I would say, okay, when you is there anything you don't understand? And please don't say anything since welcome to the course sort of thing. And one of the students just burst into tears because her entire world had changed in 2 days. It's like,
no.
It's like
I remember teaching.
They don't understand what an IP address is. They just ask.
I was doing a SharePoint client delivery, like client training, end user training, and I was at the Canadian military in up here in Meaford, Ontario, and the guy was so mad because he couldn't figure it out that I actually, it was a good thing I was looking, because I literally ducked as he threw a pencil at me. I'm like, it's just SharePoint. Jeez, we got some angry military people in Canada, everybody, so watch out. I know Alex knows D&D, right? Man, those guys they have first, the every other word is an F shot, and they can get angry. Anyway.
but like being Canadian though, after he threw the pencil, did he then apologize?
Oh yeah, he said, "I'm sorry, sorry."
Yeah, sorry, eh?
And we hugged it out. You know, that's what we do up here in Canada. We say sorry and hug it out. Casey, SharePoint. Well, I love SharePoint. Come on. I love SharePoint.
Yeah.
I've always been a SharePoint. SharePoint was my bread and butter when I was at Global Knowledge for 6 years. That's, without SharePoint, yeah. But I do have some good news for
Yes.
MCTs that are on this call. I'm
Awesome.
actually getting off this call and I'm going into PPPE. I think I said too many P's. PPE testing of the MCT renewal tool. So, finally, it's
Yeah.
coming. Woohoo! I know, right? You'll also notice by tomorrow morning when you log into your transcript, you have also been extended all now to August 1st. We've extended you another month.
That will save all the people who are concerned and go,
Yeah, I know, because everyone's like July 1st, and I'm like, the tool's going to be out in like 5 to 10 days. You can't renew within 30 days, but you never know, right? Life happens. People are not at work, are working, and they keep forgetting and forgetting. So you're going to have a full 60 days to renew. I know.
Nice.
Whoop, whoop, Tiago, you're going to get a message soon. You got to test it. So.
So Sarah, like, what's the future for the MCT program? Like, what are your plans for it? Like,
How much
that
time
you
do
can
we have?
review. Well, yeah, in a 20-minute nutshell, what's
Well, in a nutshell, it's all about community. So the social aspect of it. I think, Tracy Karish, my predecessor, she really started that trust building again. And I remember, even 20 years ago going, I'm an MCT and nobody wants to help. Like, where's the community? Where's the support from Microsoft? What's going on? And slowly it started getting better and better. And then Tracy, when she came on board, she brought in the MCT Lounge and trying to get this central way of being able to communicate to all MCTs. So I'm going to further enhance that. I'm even looking to move the lounge into a better platform. I'm looking at building another platform for trainers so that they can have a central platform to know about outages, getting their LMS, getting learning management system, all of that. I'm looking to give better benefits. So because the program fee is coming back, I know it's not going to be that expensive. It's only $400 US, and it's going to be rated based on your country. And I just set up that rating up actually today. So depending on your country, it might be lower, but the program fee is $400 US for new enrollment and then renewals every year. But that fee is not going to go to me. It's going to go to all of you. So what I'm going to be looking at doing is giving you better benefits, giving you Copilot, for goodness sakes, right? Everybody's been yelling at me, "Sir, I want Copilot." And I'm like, I know.
There you go. So that was the first comment that dropped in after you said that from
I
Scott.
know, right? Copilot licenses. I know, but do you know, even though I work for Microsoft and you think I would get a break, no, they're charging me full price. Right? Copilot, they charge all Microsoft internal programs full price. We don't get any discount. So now that the program fee is coming back in, that money will go back to all of you, right?
Yeah.
I already upped your benefits, right? I gave you Microsoft 365, 24, I think it was 24 licenses. I gave you Power BI Pro. I think I gave it back to you. They tried to take it away, but I gave it back. So about the renewal rewards, can I tell you something? Guess what I did today? I sent an email to Heidi, who does all our badges, and Heidi is creating me new badges for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, because we're at 30 years as an MCT. Yeah. The first little bit, so the first bit of FY26, I'm going to be getting reporting. So every month I'll get a report. Whoever's hitting at 5, 10, 15, you'll get an email from me saying, hey, here's your 5-year badge, here's your 10-year badge, show it off. And then in FY27, when I got money in, hopefully you'll get an email from me that says, hey, here's your 10 years. Here's your choice of whichever swag you want. And then I'll ship it to you. So I'm bringing that back because when I was at the summits, that's all I ever heard. Where's my 25-year bag? Where's my 20-year jacket? I missed it. And I'm like, okay, fine. So, and I want you to wear your MCT logos with pride, right? That's what the community is all about. They were going to have a beautiful new MCT landing page that's going to be similar, and I have to, so that, it's like the MVP page, but it's going to be no more Microsoft Learn page of just data. That's like, whoa, what's going on with this program? So I'm building a nice page. I'm going to highlight the community leads. There's a lot of things, but it's going to be mostly, I'm giving back to the community, right? So I'm going to make sure that whatever money that comes in will go back to all of you. I'm going to give you resources that make your job better. So when there's a lab outage, when there's an update in a course, and you'll have a central portal to do all that. Nothing worse than, as an MCT for 25 years, whenever you go ready to teach a class, you're going into all these different systems and you're like, okay, where do I gotta go? Where do I need to look? So I'm trying to make this all so much easier for you. It is. Awesome. Kristen, it's exciting.
Yeah. It's like, I think that, like, so it's probably like the newer, like the folk that are newer into the program probably don't appreciate how much that is that you're bringing back.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is the old timers that we all appreciate it because we know what it was before.
Yeah.
And so now know what it is that's been not lost, but has been moved, but has gone to the wayside.
COVID ruined everything for everybody, right? COVID just sucks. And that's the only time I'll say that word, COVID sucks. And so when COVID came and is still here, they took away the program fee, right? And they said, let's give it to everybody for free. I wasn't part of those discussions. I was still just a regular old trainer because I would have went, what? But because of that, the program's kind of taken a step back in its quality. Yep. So I'm bringing that back. We're bringing back the program fee. We're bringing back, the MCTs. The other thing that I'm not very much liked for this one, but there is a reason for that, is that in order for you to renew in FY27, you're going to have taught 6 classes, right? More information will come out about that. I have an actual PDF document that's going to talk about what is considered a class or a session. And you'll need to do that. Right now, it's only 1, but I'm pushing it up to 6 because I want the people that are here to want to be here, that are actually doing the job, maybe even on a part-time basis, right? Some people aren't even delivering, and we're not even knowing that. So you have 22,000 MCTs. That's a lot.
Right? So because we did shrink for quite a while, and now we've grown back out.
Exactly, it went down to 9,000, and then it went to 55,000. So during COVID, it was at 55, and a lot of them were stealing the Visual Studio subscriptions and all of that. So they ended up cutting a whole back down to 22,000, and we've been sitting at 22,000 for the last year and a half, 2 years. And I agree with you, Norman. Like, I think the Moss add-on is going to bring a different is going to add to the community, because the Moss trainers are amazing, right? I've met so many now, and I have community leads that are Moss trainers. I think we need to look at all of our offerings, even if we don't create the content. So if you didn't know, Microsoft doesn't create the Moss content. That's Certiport, I think. No, Certiport does the certifications. See, I don't even know. But yeah, we don't create the content. I still think you should be part of the community, because you're out there delivering our products, right? So why not be part of our community, right? And that's something. And they'll still fall under the same rules as well. Moss trainers will still get the same thing, right? Just like the MCT trainers, they'll still have to pay and renew with 6 courses and so on. So
So I did have a question, and this is a very self-serving question. I'll I'll say
Oh
because of
boy.
like one of the roles that I do within Skillable is looking after our events and that's the thing. So a lot at the events we use a lot of the MCTs at those events. Like
Yep.
so we have them come as volunteers, and I noted that in one of the earlier sort of like this is what's coming up, that event attendance was now going to be event like it's going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
volunteering event. So is that like what is Microsoft considering? Well, what are you considering as an event for that? Like say for instance,
Where I
is it
took that out.
you
Yeah.
did
So
okay,
it's
okay,
only a courseware materials or product
perfect,
group materials,
okay,
right? So anything from the LDC, the Learning Download Center, which is no longer my OneDrive, well, still is. The LDC is up, by the way, if you can all log into it. And
yep,
then the any product groups course, like there's like a course called Dashboard in a Day, right, that our
yep,
product group has written. So that's going to be considered as a viable one.
right,
I wanted to do events, but I was getting a lot of negative feedback for that, right, from
mhm,
MCTs. And that's what I do. Like, I listen to all of you, right? When you
yeah,
are all posting in the lounge and you're putting in your comments, some nice, some not so nice, I read them all. I literally read them all. And so I always go based on the pulse of the community, and the pulse of the
yeah,
community did not like the events idea. So I
okay,
removed
okay,
that.
all
Yeah.
right, okay, no
But if
problem.
they're working for you, Kyle, maybe I'll let them pass. You never
Yeah,
know.
well,
We can do it case by case.
we really do rely on the MCT community for big events like Ignite
Yeah.
and Build
Yeah.
as an example, because they are like the MCTs are subject matter experts, but as well as that, they know how to actually talk to people. So
Yeah.
whereas that's a difference from there's other programs, there's other people that will come in, like will have come in who are subject matter experts, but can't do the talking to people part.
Right.
Like the being able to take on board a question, process it, and then come up with an answer for it on the
Yeah.
spot is one of sort of our unique abilities as MCTs, right?
Mhm.
As you know, like sort of it's part of what you do in the classroom, right? Like someone
Yeah.
throws a question at you, and you've got to kind of go through the filing cabinet of everything that exists and go, well, that's not what we're talking about today, but we still need to come up with an answer for you. So that's
Yeah.
and I guess to Bob's point, being that can be pretty hard for trainers to get to events. I think it
That's the
was,
thing. And that's what
yeah,
a lot of the negative feedback was. A
yeah,
lot of them were saying, well, I live in so and so country. We never have summits. I'm not paying for that flight. How is that
yeah,
fair? And so and there's a lot of people that stated that it was hard for them to get to events. Now, I
yeah,
could look at something in the future where, the MCTs that do go to events, and a lot of them, because they do spend their own money, obviously, to fly
yeah,
there. So they're putting
yeah,
that effort into your branding. And that's what it is, right? Like showing up at these Ignite events. Yes, you might have to put a few $1,000s towards it, but it's the networking. That's the
yeah,
thing. If you can get the time and the money to do that, you will make some great networking people. And that's, so for something like that, I can look in the future and, recognize those type of people.
yeah, yeah.
I will be at the MCT Ignite in San Francisco, and I am trying my hardest to bring back the exam prep sessions, right? That
Nice.
MCTs
Okay. Yep.
deliver.
Yep.
They were standing room only sometimes. So those ones I'm really trying hard to, I'm trying hard to do that, and hopefully I'll have some information in the lounge in the next coming months so that people can sign up. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. There'll be like the yeah. That's like I think that'll be like that'll be another thing that people will celebrate coming back
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, so Sarah, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Just to kind of give us an idea about what's coming up. I would like to ask you one question as a trainer, and then sort of
Mhm.
like I always ask trainers like who come on this
Whiteboarding?
question.
Sorry. That's all I am. I would say whiteboarding. Number one
I,
tool, everybody. No, just go ahead.
I thought you were going to say MCT Lounge, but okay, sure.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Writing MCT Lounge on the whiteboard. No, what would be your one piece of advice that you would give to a trainer who is just starting out?
Starting out?
Yeah.
Oh,
one piece
if
of
I
advice.
could turn back the time 25 years ago, I would take Alex Donis out for more steak dinners and get more scoop on what's going on at Global Knowledge. Just kidding. No, I think the biggest one is the networking piece, which I personally didn't do myself.
Yep.
So Tiago, run away. And always try and put yourself out there, right? Like social media right now, LinkedIn is one of the best tools for you to get to really showcase your who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
We actually have something coming up, and I might as well tell you now. I didn't want to, some of you already know. So I know I got some extra news for everybody. So for MCTs that are starting out or currently doing this, we've got some new playbooks that are going to be coming out. One is on social media. One is on video streaming, and one's going to be called the Center of Excellence. And so the Center of Excellence is going to incorporate the video and social media. And what it's going to be is these are these tools for trainers and how to, brand their image. Because ask Tiago, if you talk to a lot of people, even internally at Microsoft, they all know who Tiago is. It's because he's branded himself out on social media. So if you're serious about being an MCT and wanting to do it full time, build your brand, and I'll be able to support you with that. I love that. I'll be able to support you with that in the next coming weeks when we have these playbooks. There.
Perfect.
That wasn't too long-winded for a trainer, was it? I did that shit. Not bad, right?
You've done great, Sarah.
Oh, Joshua. Oh, Joshua, where were you at the beginning of this call? Oh, wait, we lost. Kyle disappeared. I don't know. It's just me now? I was going to say, Kyle just left me alone in the room. Uh-oh. Oh, we can't hear you, Kyle. At least I can't. Yep. There we go. The Sarah Show. Oh, no. Oh, you're just joking, Joshua? You're funny. He does that to all the guest speakers. He just leaves, and we're like...
Exactly.
I'm just going, Skillable network issues. Oh, burn.
It's my home network issues, which is the same reason why, for whatever reason, this camera decides to randomly focus in different locations in the room.
That, right? I thought maybe my vision was going, but I think it's you.
If I take my glasses off and put them back on, it's...
All right. Anyway, yeah, that was it for me. So thank you very much for having me on the Skillable show. I would love to come back as a regular, so always invite me. I'd love to come back. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, I would absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to have you come back every once in a while and give us an update and have a bit more of a chat. It's been really great to chat with you. Thanks for joining us, Sarah. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. You know where to find me. Everybody say it with me. MCT Lounge. MCT Lounge. Kristen, you might want to yank me out of the room. I'm just kidding. All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Sarah. All right. Well, that was very good having Sarah join us, and I will definitely be taking her up on that offer of her coming back and joining us on a regular basis. So be careful what you ask for, Sarah. All right, in our last couple of minutes, I just want to do what you all know is my favorite part of the call, apart from speaking to our guests and that sort of thing. But the constant part of the call, which is our instructor recognition, where we get to sort of give you an insight into the mark or into the impact that you make in people, like for people. So the first one for our classes delivered. So since our last course, or sorry, since our last call. And I'm just having a quick look on the list to see if we've got anyone who's actually in the room today from on here. And I don't think that we've got anyone on that list that's joined us. So congratulations to Jerry and Scotch Tech for delivering their first class. But we had 234 people who delivered their first class on our platform, so therefore they might have been somewhere else, but this is on our platform. The 47 did the 25 classes, all the way up to someone who delivered their 500th class. So that's a massive amount of classes to deliver as an individual instructor. So really well done for all of the instructors who have reached those milestones. This one though is the sort of the one that's the really like where the rubber meets the road type one. Where we have folk that have delivered to their first student, but people that have reached over 5,000 students. Right now, anywhere along that journey, and this is what I've said before, as an MCT, what you need to do is you need to kind of look at and take a step back and take a moment to appreciate the impact that you have had in classes with your students. People who have who are now able to get a promotion, who are now able to answer a question from one of their colleagues, who feel more confident in their job directly because of what you have provided, the knowledge that you have provided to them in your class. So regardless of whether you are whether you've done your first student, like you delivered to your first student, or you've delivered to your 5,000th student, all along the way of that journey, make sure that you do reflect on what that impact is that you have and how you've made a difference in someone's life, right? And sometimes we don't see it, right? We don't see the wood for the trees because we're too far into it. Or you get to those weeks where it's like, okay, I'm delivering this week. This is my, you've got some short courses, and you're delivering your third shorter course for the week, and you're just in the weeds of it. As I said, take a step back and consider what it is you've done and how you've been able to make a difference in folks' life with it. It was one of the pieces of advice that I got given as along the way was to make sure that you do look for those, right? That you do look for the impact that you've made. Armando, that's a really good thing as well, right? To keep some of the evals and keep some of those, so that where the positive things. We often do focus on the negatives as well, right? You remember the eval where someone wasn't happy, but you don't necessarily remember the email, or you don't remember the eval where someone was thought it was great. The eval that sticks in my mind that I received. There was two that I received and it wasn't delivering in the class, but it was delivering on a stage at a tech ed. One was should have worn shorts. I don't understand what that was about. And the other one was not enough PowerPoints. And so I delivered mainly with demos rather than a PowerPoint. But that it struck me for a while that there was something that I had to have someone who I had to cater for those people who didn't want to just see the demos, but also the people who didn't want to just see the PowerPoints. But those, to me, that's the two that have stuck in my head after 26 years of doing public deliveries. That's the ones that I remember, right? And neither of them are particularly. One's just weird, and the other one was a negative because someone didn't like it. So yeah, so Armando, you're exactly right. Keep those positives in mind, right? To make sure that you you do work through those. Right. So, so as I said, congratulations to all those folk, and as I said, take that moment, right? Some of the instructor offers, just to keep those in mind, particularly for those that are joining us for the first time, you may not be aware of these. So you do have free access to prep for classes, and also go and expand your knowledge. You have access to our full catalog of Microsoft official courseware to be able to launch labs. So you don't have to be scheduled to do a class. You can just simply go and run the lab. In order to get access to that, you go to skillable.com/offers. That gives you a chance to obviously leverage our environments, also get used to them as well. Like every platform's a little bit different, and of course every platform is the best platform. So, but we're all a little bit different as to how we perform and the actions are put out. That gives you the full mock access. As well as that, you can also apply for the MCT All Access Pass. That gives you access to about 1,400 of our challenge labs, which are separate from the mock labs. So obviously within the mock courses, you will get access to some of the challenge labs, but with the MCT All Access Pass, you get access to all 1,400 challenge labs to be able to run through, and they are on very different topics, so from just simply the strictly Microsoft content as well. So that kind of gives you a chance to step outside of the maybe your usual sort of set of knowledge to be able to practice in different places. If you are an AWS instructor, we also have that same offer for our AWS instructors as well, to be able to get the access to the pass. And of course, as we've discussed, the instructor recognition. And there have been a couple of people, and this has been like that have multiple accounts and that sort of thing. And of course, the challenge for that is that by default, we don't see you as the same person. We see you as multiple people. Kristen has put in her email address to be able to for you to be able to email her to get that sorted out. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on at the moment. Just letting you know that you can go in and jump in and do that and get that merged, which for those of you who are, contract instructors, that's something, obviously that's a challenge, because we do have the option to be able to have a contract account, but a lot of the training centers don't use those. And instead, they'll just go and simply set up their separate accounts and that sort of thing, and then you've got to do all that fun within there. So, so please feel free to reach out to us to make sure that we fix that up. Let me just grab into here, and apparently I've actually drawn on the screen. So just a couple of sort of things to wrap up with. So make sure you do bookmark the skillable.com instructor-recognition, instructor-dashboard. So that's two parts where you can go into, where you can go to do your what am I doing for the week and launch all your labs from, launch all your classes from within there. Instructor recognition, obviously where you can keep track of what your recognition badges are and that sort of thing, as well as the mock, which is where you can go and see what the latest information about the mock, the mock content. So any upcoming courses when they're coming out to be released, we generally will publish them into there, as well as anything that's come out recently we put into there. So if, say for instance, you're in a training center and you say, right, hey, we want to be able to use Skillable, make sure you point the operations person to the skillable.com/mock. There's all the details about how to come on board there as well. As well as that, we do have an instructor channel in Slack as well, so make sure you join that if you're not already in that. And this is an important one, is to go to feedback.skillable.com if there's something that you think, hey, this doesn't work as it should, not from a content perspective, but from a functional perspective, or there's something that you think, hey, this would be better if we did it this way. Feel free to leave us some feedback. We do have there's a session last year, I think from memory, where we actually sort of covered what happens with that feedback. So if you are interested in that, then feel free to to go back and find that one. I think from memory it might have been around this time last year, if my memory serves me well. All right. Well, apart from that, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. I assume some of you might be at Build next week, and if you are, come and say hello. So because we'll be floating around at Build. But apart from that, appreciate your time. Thank you very much once again to Sarah to joining us, and we will see you all next month. Thank you very much.